Hi, this is Noemi. Today I'm going to talk about surviving a death of a family member or a loved one. Just a few weeks ago, I was at home. I had not had an episode, and I will call them an episode. And I just started to cry. And I realized I was crying because I missed my dad. And my dad passed away about 9 years ago, or not about 9 years ago, 9 years ago. And actually, he would have turned 60 this year, this past July. And he was a great dad. But I remember he worked right by the expressway. And whenever I was on my way to work or to school or wherever I was going, and I would have to pass through there, I would always like turn and see. And I would sometimes see him, I would sometimes not see him, right? And I would tell him, "Hey, Dad, I saw you today." I'd call him up. And I still do that. I mean, it's still a habit. I cannot pass through his old workplace and not look. I do look, and I remember him. And there's things that I'm living, things that I'm experiencing, that sometimes I just wish that he was here. He had 5 kids, he had 5 daughters, and he didn't get to walk any of us, down the aisle. And he he didn't get to meet any grandchildren. He has 5 grandchildren. He only had daughters, and he has 3 grandsons that I just know he would have loved. He has 3 sons-in-law that he would have liked to meet. He would have enjoyed to go fishing with. He has 2 beautiful granddaughters that he just never got to meet, nor they got to meet him. And there's just a lot of things in our lives that that we just miss him. And just recently I just lost a really good friend. She was a member in our church, and actually it's a fairly new church, and this was the first member we've lost. And man, gosh, that's tough. It's tough, and my heart goes out to their family, and my heart goes out to you too if you lost someone. I'm not gonna say that you'll ever forget, but I will say that it will get better. If you just lost someone and you just feel sad and you just feel discouraged, just have faith in God and let God be your strength and let God be your rock. Without God, we can't do anything without God. We lose ourselves in depression without God. We go crazy, we go insane, and you need to have that peace, and you need to enjoy life. I know it's not easy when you go through something so hard, but I just want you to encourage you. This is a time where you don't want to seek God. When this friend passed away, I went to go get a drink of water in the fridge, and I have a magnet that says God answers prayers. And I read that the day that she died. And I said, well, we prayed for her. We put our hands on her. We anointed her with oil. And why did she still die? And as I was thinking these thoughts, the Lord started to speak to my spirit. And he started to show me, what he had done. God answers prayers, is sometimes he doesn't answer them in the way we want them to be answered. And our dear friend, she had cancer. And I don't know, sometimes when you think of cancer, you think of people being bedridden, you think of people being in the hospital, you think of just people being sad and depressed. But our friend was like none of that. I mean, to their very last moments, I mean, she was full of life and she was always joking. She was a hard worker. I mean, she didn't let anything keep her down. And that same day, I was seeking encouragement, and I went on YouTube, and I wanted to see some word, listen to some word. And I was looking for some videos, and I ran into a video of Nick. I don't know how to say his last name. He's the one with the ministry of life with no limbs. He has no arms and no legs. And there's this video that has a sermon that he's giving, and it says proof that there is no God. And I was looking at that video, and the proof was that there is no God, because why would God make something like that? But my answer to that is that there is a God. Because just like my friend, even with cancer, she was strong and she was fighting. And to the last moment, she was full of life and she was joking and she was just enjoying herself. The same thing with Nick. You know, Nick, or he could have been home ridden and he could have been depressed and he could have been feeling sorry for himself. But instead, he's going around the world preaching the gospel of God, bringing hope to people. You know, he's there lifting up the self-esteem of the teenagers, and you know, anybody going through problems. And then when people say proof that there isn't a God, and that to me is proof that there is a God, because God gives you courage. God didn't make us to be perfect. God made us to be capable in Him, even with our disabilities. I know that when God sent Moses to go speak to Pharaoh, Moses said, "No, Lord, I stutter. You know, I have this speaking problem." But God said, "I will go with you." And God doesn't need us to be perfect. And we can pass through circumstances. But just because we're passing through circumstances doesn't mean that we have to lay down, doesn't mean that we just have to give up and be discouraged. But that we can be brave and we can give life all we got. And we can fight the good fight. And that's exactly what my friend did. And I think that's exactly what my dad did too. And that's something that I take relief in. You know, if you're going through something, you know, just take relief, or comfort is the better word. Take comfort in that they gave it their all. You know, I was happy about my dad in his last days. We didn't know, unlike my friend, you know, when she was sick, we didn't know my dad was sick. So, but I did see changes in my dad. I did see him enjoy his life. I know, in his last days, I know that he was doing well, and I take comfort in that. And if anybody has any questions, I'm here to answer. You can email me at noemi5281@yahoo.com for any questions. I am a pastor in Texas, Santa Vida Church, and I'm here to lift up and to encourage, and whatever I can do to serve, that is my purpose. And I ask that the Lord bless you, and in whatever you're going through today, just know that you can go through anything with Jesus, who is your strength. I was gonna stop there, but I need to say this, that many times we say, "Oh, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Oh, I got a promotion. I can do all things through God who strengthens me. Oh, I got a new job, or well, I can't think of anything right now. But when Paul actually said those words, um, he was saying, I know how to be happy when I'm poor and when I have abundance. I know how to be happy when times are good and when times are bad. When I feel happy, when I feel sad, even in those times, I know how to make myself happy. And then he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I know it's not easy. I'm not here telling you that it's easy, but I am telling you that it doesn't matter what you're going through, that you can get through it. You can overcome it. You can be victorious through it, through Christ who loves you and will strengthen you. You are not alone. God bless you.